What's a podcast actually worth listening to? History of Rome. After the first few episodes where sound producerton isn't great. It's just like 200 episodes of incredible story of the rise and fall of the entire Roman Empire. The dude knows his shit. Actively will call out his own mistakes during the following episodes when he is wrong. Which isn't often. He tells it in wee better than any textbook. He almost never goes off the rails and talsh about irrelevant material. And when he does, it's about baseball for like 4 seconds. He enjoys the topic and you can tell. Well, there's your problem. A podcast about engineering disasters. With slides. I listen to 1 or 2 comedy podcasts, but none of them make me laugh as hard or as often as _2. Civil engineers from Philly _, proud sons of Philly, and a posh British woman discussing engineering and societal disasters. Edit. Only Roz is a civil engineer. Liam is a finance major because he's a good boy. No such thing as a fish. Funny while being somewhat educational. This is kind of new. But check out, If Books Could Kill. 2 guys discuss and analyze best-selling non-fiction books that could use a good dissection like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The Secret. Well-researched and super funny and interesting. Love it. Darknet Diaries. Hardcore history. I am obsessed with this podcast will kill you. If you like the biology and history of diseases and illnesses. This is it. The presenters are awesome. The History of Rome. Mike Duncan. The rest is history, hardcore history. 99% Invisible. Old Gods of Appalachia is a good radio drama. The way narrator speaks. You can feel the trees grow around you. Behind the Bastards is fantastic, but will question humanity. I love You're Wrong About. The Anthropocene Reviewed. My all-time favorite is the film Reroll. They take the basic premise of a film and play through the story as an RPG, allowing the choices of the players and roll of the dice to drastically change the story. Highlights have included starting a civil war in Oz, blowing up the moon in E.T., and the GM tricking the players into thinking they were doing an obscure 80s teen sex comedy. None of them had ever heard of, only to spring Jason on them and reveal it was really Friday the 13th. The final chapter. Here are a couple clips for a taste. The Cowardly Lion worries about what happened to Dorothy and Scarecrow when the party got split. https www.youtube.com/watch v=_0 axis Jew GMG. Jafar fails a will roll and falls in love with Aladdin. https www.youtube.com/watch v=OKCCUJH0WVU. They will sometimes do sequels to their previous rerolls, and those can get epic. Their version of the Halloween trilogy is my personal canonical version of that franchise to me. Danny Hodges is the greatest ascended NPC protagonist the movies never had. Currently they're doing Rogue 2. In their version of Rogue One. Andor, JYN, and K2SO all survived, so now their continued story is running parallel to A New Hope. I could go on and on about the running jokes, the great humor, the unexpectedly dramatic moments with real pathos, the wonderful personalities and absolutely world-class acting and improv that goes into the show. I dearly love it and have listened to every episode at least twice. While some of my favorites have become go-to-comfort listening, and I've lost count of how many times I've re-listened to those. But I'll let y'all discover all of that for yourselves. It's a true gem of a show. Some honorable mentions. Oh no. Ross and Carrie. They examine fringe science, spirituality, and claims of the paranormal, and show up so you don't have to. They try alternative medicines on themselves, join cults, and investigate all kind of wild claims and report back their first-hand experience. Yes, they have done Scientology. You might be surprised at how far into it they got before they were found out. Monster Talk, a show that looks at 14 phenomenon from a skeptical perspective. Never cynical or simply debunking. They engage with every topic like there could be some merit until they find that there isn't any. Good research and even worse puns. In research of a sort of spin-off form Monster Talk. They watch every episode of the classic Leonard Nimoy series in search of and present some explanations that the producers chose not to present. One of the co-hosts is an archaeologist, and it can be a hoot to hear him go off on Ancient Alien and Graham Hancock type shit. Another path. A D&D 5e actual play podcast. They had a pretty epic campaign that I'd recommend for fans of the Adventure Zone. They recently started a new one with new characters that doesn't require listening to the old one. Although the old one is well worth the time. Imprinted Echoes. A Numenera actual play podcast has some neat sci-fi concepts in it, and I love the crew playing it.